Tonight on the Kyle Files, Britain's obesity crisis. We head to the Vegas restaurant which encourages its customers to eat calorie-laden food.
I'll have the single bypass burger.
9,982 calories.
I discover that closer to home, Britain is embracing a craze for so-called food challenges.
This is the biggest you've ever attempted?
And the weight loss surgeons hoping to save the NHS millions.
I used to do cancer surgery. I reckon I saved more lives now.
Obesity rates in Britain are amongst the highest in the world. Now, experts predict it could be one of the most serious public health issues facing us in the 21st century. But how did we get to this stage? And what can we do to stop this ticking time bomb that is slowly killing us?
It's one of the most talked about topics in Britain. We're eating too much food, and in particular the wrong kind of food. But despite being bombarded with all the health warnings about Britain's obesity crisis, we still don't seem to be learning from it. Our eating habits have changed. Portion sizes are bigger, food is more accessible, and we're less active than we used to be. But how much are we influenced by the likes of America, which has the most calorie-laden diet in the world?
You know, this really is fascinating when you start looking into it. We've seen this weird craze of food challenges hit the UK from America, which is all about basically eating supersized portions. Well, my team have found this restaurant in the States that not only challenges you to eat more, they positively encourage you. And apparently they have ambitions of opening in the UK.
Las Vegas, famously known as Sin City and a place of indulgence. Whether it's gambling, shopping or eating, everything here is in excess. And one man that embraces this is John Basso, who calls himself Dr. John, even though he's not a real doctor at all.
Oh, you'll be okay. You're gonna make it.
He runs a hospital-themed burger restaurant where the food is purposely unhealthy.
All right, guys.
Customers dress in theatre gowns.
And what about you, sweetheart? French fries?
And if they weigh over 350 pounds, that's 25 stone, they eat for free.
$3.75.
9,982 calories.
At the Heart Attack Grill, the clue is in the title.
Our burgers are purposefully big. We took the Guinness Book of World Records for the most calorific burger. That was back in 2013. And since then, we've expanded the menu and broken our own record. Now we go all the way up to the octuple bypass burger.
Which apparently comes in at almost 20,000 calories. And this might look like ice cream, but it's actually pure lard. And that's what the fries are cooked in.
Why do we do that? It's nutritional pornography.
You're such a brave and wonderful doctor, Dr. John. You did it.
I know.
It's designed to arouse. It's designed to shock. And if we can arouse and shock people, if we could drag them into our sleazy world, fill up their tummies, and then send them home, I really think that I've given them the food for thought that they're really paying for.
I think it's 1,300 calories.
And Dr. John believes it's all in the name of education.
I am here to scream it from the rooftops and wave flags about it because everybody else is sweeping it under the table. It's more profitable for corporate America, corporate UK, to simply not discuss that little bad side effect of all the junk that they're selling to us.
But for some, Dr. John's calorie-laden menu has come at a hefty price. Over the years, 2 of his regular customers who helped promote the brand have died. One of them, it's claimed, ate there every day.
I'm never going to say I'm not guilty. And what's even more evil about it is I make an awful lot of money doing this, and I'm proud of that.
And in this restaurant, if you don't finish your meal, you don't get a doggy bag. You get punished.
And it stems back to childhood, where your parents would physically threaten you if you didn't finish your plate.
And now, Dr. John has his eyes set on Britain.
When we go to the UK, I know that people are going to say you're serving food that's killed people. I don't truly risk the lives of my customers by giving them the highest fat, highest calorie food If you stop and think about it, I'm not teaching them anything.
Can I please have your menus?
Now, we all know that eating fast food is okay once in a while, but this is extreme. And if Dr. John's plans become reality, how will the UK respond? I showed footage of Dr. John and his restaurant to dietitian Lucy Jones to get her expert opinion.
The whole restaurant is designed to shock and for entertainment and to be extreme.
To really understand just how extreme this could be, we're going to recreate one of Dr. John's worst offenders, the Octable Burger. He claims this works out at just under 20,000 calories.
This is the ingredients that go into one burger. How bad is that?
Well, for one thing, it's totally excessive. I would never recommend that anybody consume this amount of food in a day, let alone in one sitting. All of that is processed meat, which if consumed regularly in big doses like that, actually it has quite strong evidence that it increases risk of things like bowel cancer.
So with our pinnies on and enough ingredients to feed an army, it's time to get cooking.
On a serious note, what would this do to you if you actually ate all of this?
What you're likely to do is feel really ill, vomit, get diarrhea, have abdominal pains, and actually do it on a regular basis. You're going to get really obese.
And the reality is, this could be arriving at our shores sooner than we think.
Can you imagine in the United Kingdom enough people would eat this?
Do you know, I can.
Really?
Yeah, I see a real rise in the popularity of this sort of food challenge mentality. We could see a restaurant like this surviving and perhaps thriving, and that, if anything, is the scariest part of this at all.
So now there's just one thing left to do, and that's build our burger.
Do you know, I'm that greasy now, I feel like sick. That's disgusting.
What this is telling somebody is that you should carry on eating, not taste it, not take your time, not pause to breath, keep eating and eating until you feel like you're going to explode. And for me, that is a real powerfully negative image about how we should eat, how we should savour our food.
Well, that's an expert's view, but I wonder how far away we are from America's supersized eat-all-you-can food culture. Earlier in the show, we learnt about a restaurant in America that purposely serves calorie-laden food to its customers and now has plans to open in the UK.
And what about you, sweetheart? French fries?
But with Britain at the centre of an obesity crisis, I challenge its owner about the message she's sending to society.
People are dying because of what you do.
I am the ultimate international scoundrel.
It's one of the most talked about issues. Britain is bulging. 62% of adults are classed as overweight or obese, higher than in France, Spain, and Germany. Here at the Sunderland Royal, one of today's patients on the list is Bridget. I'm going to sit in and watch Surgeon Peter Small at work. Once Bridget's been anaesthetised, the team use a special inflatable mattress to lift her onto the table, reducing the risk of injury to staff.
Looks about right.
The keyhole surgery should take 3 to 4 hours. Peter will create a small pouch at the top of the stomach, about the size of an egg.
Pinky thing is our stomach. The yellow stuff is fat.
All of that is fat.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's just fat.
Yeah. We all have a bit of fat. You'll have a bit of fat inside you. But it won't be as big as that. Right, up we go.
My God, it's extraordinary.
Bridget is one of an estimated 4.5 million people suffering from diabetes in the UK, and numbers are rising. As with every operation, there are risks, and it doesn't work for everyone. But this type of surgery is proving key in tackling diabetes because it puts many sufferers in remission.
There are papers upon papers in the UK and across the world that show that patients that go for bariatric surgery save the health service money. It's one of the best investments they could make.
Peter has divided Bridget's stomach and created a small pouch with a staple gun.
Right, you pull the pouch on your side. Yep, happy days.
And that's their new stomach, right there on the left.
Yep. That's our stomach.
That's amazing. How much food would it take to fill that up?
50 centimetres, about less than half a cup.
So will she always feel full from now on?
Well,
Is that a silly question?
I'm not sure it's full. What they do get is satiety. They don't feel hungry.
It will take 3 or 4 years for Bridget to adapt to a new diet. But Peter predicts this surgery will give her 9 to 12 years of extra life. In theory, a healthier life.
Why do you do this job?
I help people. I help people get their lives back. I change people's lives. I used to do cancer surgery. I reckon I save more lives now.
Really?
It's been a fascinating day. But what strikes me is that this kind of surgery is on the increase because of what we as a society are consuming. So what's the answer? Education? Or maybe a different approach like the shock tactics adopted by Dr. John? He's agreed to speak to me from a studio in Vegas, but always full of surprises, Dr. John not only brings along one of his waitresses uninvited.
I am absolutely responsible for this man's death.
But also what he claims are the ashes of one of his diners.
He was a friend of mine. He still is. I keep him behind the bar with me. Why do I callously set him on top of a table in front of your amazing audience? Real simple. I want everybody out there to think. Come on into the Heart Attack Grill. Love to feed you, love to make money off of you. But I am going to give you some food for thought along the way.
There's been some talk that you're interested in opening a restaurant in the UK. We have a very high level of obesity in this country. How do you sleep at night if you think people are dying because of what you do?
I cause immediate death in the near term from my customers, but I save lives in the long term because I am the ultimate international scoundrel that people like you love to broadcast and look down your nose at.
Check you out here.
How I sleep at night is knowing that I'm starting an avalanche of human awareness about the problem of the fast food industry as a whole.
Do you think that your message is the right message because it's so shocking?
Do I want what's better for people? Only so much as they do. Now, most people say, I take and I take and I take and I take. Great, think what you want to, but just think about me. Remember my name.
How can we possibly forget Dr. John's name? His so-called healthy eating concept might have made him a fortune in the States, but only time will tell how his message will be received in the UK.